Greetings. My name is Louise Dente, and I welcome you to yet another edition of Cultural Caravan. On this edition, we're on location at the Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture. And there, we're going to be joined by many friends and family members of the great legendary actress, Miss Ruby Dee, as she celebrates her 90th birthday. Yes, greetings. We're now joined by the great Rev.Jesse Jackson. Welcome to Cultural Caravan.
It's good to be at this great celebration tonight.
Tell me us about the importance of celebrating this legend and her family's community.
Well, the longevity of it, the quality, the non-negotiable dignity, that's kind of what Ruby and Asa represented. I remember as a child in South Carolina when Jack Robinson was the ultimate hero for all of us, the great breakthrough. Ruby and Jack Robinson doing the Jack Robinson story. That was a big deal. There were no black anchors on TV at that time. None, anywhere in America. So the forerunner on screen, on stage, but their stardom did not take them into another world. It took them to the ground where the people were. In so many ways, Oz and Ruby are like reality TV. They're like real stuff. What you see is what you get. And whether it was marching in Selma, Alabama with Dr. King, also doing Malcolm X's funeral, calling him Sweet Prince. I mean, this also, I remember the first Black Caucus meeting, after Dr. King had been killed, and we were searching for our way. We lost this huge giant. It was Asa Davis who says, not the rap is the map, not the man's the plan. That's Asa too. But Asa and Ruby co-partners. I remember there was a big riot here in the 60s. And no one could get a grip on how to at least discipline the anger. But Asa and Ruby went on TV saying, hear me, don't self-destruct, don't self-degrade. No one had the attention of the people like Asa and Ruby. So in many ways, we live in a new day, but they took us out of the long, deep darkness into the newer day.
We thank you so much for joining us on this great event. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for allowing me to share.
Thank you. Greetings, this is Louise Dente, and I'm now joined by Roscoe Orman. Welcome to Cultural Caravan.
Well, thank you, Louise.
You know, we're all gathered here in celebration of Ruby Dee's 90th birthday. Please tell us your impressions about this great actor and her wonderful husband.
It's hard to find words to describe my feelings for Ruby Dee. Ruby represents to me the height of commitment to both art and community. She and her late husband, Ossie, became mother and father figures to an entire generation, including myself, especially among the arts community, teaching us the meaning of our work. And having the opportunity to work with them both many times has instilled in me a tremendous level of gratitude and feeling of being blessed to share not just the stages that we've shared together, but to share this generation in time and history, the history that they have created. as artists.
It's a pleasure, and again, we've been blessed to have an opportunity to talk to you about your work, and definitely in celebration of the tradition of the arts. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Louise.
Thank you. Yes, we're now joined by Rosie O'Donnell. Welcome to Cultural Caravan.
Thank you so much. I've been waiting for you to ask me to be a guest.
Oh, right.
It takes bumping into you at an event. It's a little insulting, but I'm all right.
Oh, wow. Well, we are very honored to have you with us. And, you know, we are excited about celebrating the 90th birthday of the great Ruby Dee. Tell us about your reflections about great Ruby Dee.
Well, you know, she's a living legend and a civil rights activist and a heroine of the American stage and screen, and she's everything that you dreamed she'd be. I was privileged to get to work with her about 5 years ago on a movie I adapted from a book about the foster care system in the United States, and she was very, very supportive and came in and did it for us in Detroit, and it was the night Obama was first elected.
Yes.
So it was kind of, for me, magical to be there with Ruby Dee in Detroit on the night that we got Barack Obama.
Wow. Well, again, we're very excited about being here, and we thank you so much for joining us in celebration of life and actor.
Carry on.
Take care. All right. As you know, Cultural Caravan celebrates the legacy and the history and the culture of people of African ancestry. And we are very honored to be able to once again recognize the work of your grandparents, as well as artists who have really made a commitment to our community and really expressing a legacy of our work. And this film that both of you are working on, entitled Life's Essentials with Ruby Dee, tell us, what inspired you to produce this film?
Wow, okay. Well, there has not been a documentary, a feature-length documentary created about Ossie Davis and Ruby Dee. And we know that there's a hunger for people to get closer to their story. Mm-hmm. People write Grand Ruby even now for advice on love, and people refer to them as somewhat of the quintessential married entertainer slash couple, you know? Mm-hmm. And a few years ago, when their autobiography came out, they did an audio book, audio version mm-hmm. of the autobiography, and people ate it up. It won a Grammy. Mm-hmm. And there's a strong desire for people to get closer to Ossie Davis and Ruby Dee. And so that's on the surface level. Mm-hmm. When President Obama was elected, mm-hmm. I felt really, really great. You know, I felt very happy about that. And for a second, I reflected on how much has changed in African American history, just even in my lifetime and further mm-hmm. back than that, you know. Mm-hmm. And I thought about the lives that have been lost to get us here. To the point where there can be an African American president, and then I guess from my background in school, I always want to analyze stuff. So I wanted to know, like, okay, we lost a lot. A lot has been sacrificed. You know, has it been worth it? Mm-hmm. You know, how much further are we now than we were years ago? And so that, combined with a desire to create a documentary about my grandparents, rolled into what my mother called the essential questions that I had to ask myself. You know, you jump on the ship to get on this journey to create a documentary, mm-hmm. and it takes years. Mm-hmm. It takes years of dedication and hard work and persistence and tenacity. So the third factor that was added in when I really took a look at myself, it was a desire for me to preserve the personal side of my grandfather and my grandmother, and not let their stories, not let their advice, not let their wisdom and knowledge float away, in a sense. Mm-hmm. And my grandfather passed away in 2005, and as I say in one of our videos, you know, once someone is gone, they're kind of gone. Mm-hmm. I'm blessed in that we have a huge archive of Grandpa's written material. He's been on stage and in front of cameras for decades, mm-hmm. so I'm blessed in the sense where I can see imagery of him and hear his voice. I'm glad my aunt nudged them to do their autobiography, and we have that on record. But getting into my 30s, I know I'm having a lot of questions about life in general, and when you have those types of questions, you go to your family, and that's the third reason why my heart is in this piece.
And, you know, and J. Frank, tell us what inspired you to get involved with this very important work.
Wow. I mean, to honor legends like Ossie Davis and Ruby Dee, it's an amazing thing for just anyone who has grown up under their influence and seeing them in film. And me being a film producer, it's just a project that's a dream come true. Now, the way that the story is being told, not as a traditional documentary, the way that it's being, wisdom is being imparted from Miss Dee to her grandson, that really drew me to the project also. And I like the fact that it's moving in that direction, that as a person who didn't grow up with Ossie and Ruby, I get to see the wisdom that she has to share. And the wisdom she has to share, I'm hoping will transcend through the screen, where people watching the documentary will be able to go ahead and gain that wisdom also. So that's what made it very, very interesting to me. And me and Muta Ali have been working together for quite some time on a couple of different documentaries and different projects. So it just is a natural flow, and it worked well.
Great. You know, I think that when you talk, just going back to what you said, Muta Ali, about your parents, and I think what made this specialness is they stayed together for over 57 years, I understand. And that in particular in Hollywood is something that's just almost impossible. You don't really see, you know, couples staying together. So just in duration, the fact that they were really partners as well as couple, there was just a specialness about what they did. They worked together. You could see the love in terms of many of the shows, from Pearly Victorious to many of the other movies they've done over the years. So when you think about, because you talked about the fact that people asked about advice for your grandmother, I think about that, you know. And also thinking about what they tried to do. They were also activists. You know, they were not just artists. They used their opportunity, their celebrity to point out causes of civil rights. They were coming up in that time frame, and your parents always lent their support to those. So I think that is one of the things that stands out, in addition to the artistry of years of being involved with so many, many works. In line with this, tell us about this project, and how has it been just trying to put together this important love story and life story, and called Life's Essentials, particularly since we know that your grandmother is celebrating her 90th birthday this year. Tell us about that.
Well, it's been very fulfilling and touching, even at this early stage, because I think if any of us make an explicit decision to pay close attention to our loved ones and ask them deeper questions than you might normally, and look in your old family archives and pay attention to behaviors, you will find not only a truer sense of what created you and where you came from and why you might even behave certain ways, but you will also get closer to them. You know what this process has done for me, even to this point today, has added a different layer to how I connect with my grandmother, because she's always been Grand Ruby. You know, so you grow up, oh, that's my grandma, that's my grandma. You know, it's not like, oh, that's Ruby Dee. It's like, oh, that's Grand Ruby. And now, doing this process, I've somehow, not only is she Grand Ruby, but and I love her, but I'm also becoming a fan of my grandma, and that's a different. That's different. So not many people could say, "Oh, yeah, I'm a fan of my grandma." Yeah, you know. So that is something that has definitely been part of the journey so far that I like. You know?
Now we're going to just see a clip from Life's Essentials with Ruby Dee.
Our marriage was a whole lot of learning and talking and discussion and a little fighting in there too, you know, and and discovering up things about where and how we live and becoming writers together. It was the most magical experience for me in my life to be married to Ossie. I think he felt the same about me.
We're now joined by actor Malik Yoba. Welcome to Cultural Caravan TV.
Thank you.
Just tell us about some words about reflections on this special day on celebration of actress Ruby Dee's 90th birthday.
She's actually, Miss Ruby Dee is one of my favorite people. We've had the good fortune of having a couple of meals together. We actually just worked on a film together, the film Betty and Coretta. And I'm just, it's an honor. I mean, there's not too many sort of living legends in our community in terms of artists who have been, she's 90 years old. So, I don't know too many 90-year-olds, particularly people who have been in this business I'm in, that can, impart wisdom and love and perspective.
Yes, greetings. We're now joined by Warrington Hudlin, producer, director, here at this wonderful event. Welcome to Cultural Caravan TV.
I'm happy to be here. I'm happy here to celebrate a great icon, Ruby Dee.
Yes, we basically think about the work you've done in terms of keeping our image up on screen. Tell us about the work that Ruby and Ossie have done and how they impact your life.
Sure. I had two privileges. There was a syndicated program called African Heritage Network, where I directed both Ossie and Ruby introducing movies. So I had the pleasure of working with her and her husband, and I also had the pleasure of doing a film called Unstoppable, in which I interviewed Ossie Davis, Melvin Van Peebles, and Gordon Parks together. So I really had a chance to work with these great legends. It's a great privilege.
Yes, wonderful. And then definitely in terms of what people should be taking out of the story, what they should be taking away from this in terms of our image. Any closing remarks in terms of the importance of us building from the legacy of the great Ruby Dee and Ossie?
The legacy of Ruby Dee's legacy is really about integrity, about political consciousness, and the fact that you can be a conscious artist and not compromise. All her work has integrity, has also had political import, and for that, she's a role model for us all.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us.
All right.
Hi, this is Louise Dente, joined by Sade Letko, the National Black Theater, and David Allen Grier. Welcome to Cultural Caravan.
Thank you for always having us.
Okay, we just wanted to get your reflections on the celebration of the great Ruby Dee.
Miss Dee, who is a close friend of my mom, Dr. Tier, she's always such an inspiration, and tonight was a reflection of her contribution, her grace, and her call to action always for us as artists to remain committed to our work and also committed to raising the consciousness of our people. So it was a wonderful evening.
Right, thank you. And Mr. Grier, please share your reflections.
Well, I just wanted to pay homage. Ruby Dee, Ossie Davis are icons, not only in our community, but in the acting community. They definitely transcend race and gender. And since I was a little kid, before I even knew that I wanted to be an actor, they were already role models by the work that they did, not only on stage, on screen, but in the community, and civil rights struggle. So that's what they mean to me. So it was just, as you saw the love in there, and everyone just wanting to say.
Well, thank you both for joining us. Okay, take care. Greetings. This is Louise Dente, joined by Vi Higgensen, producer of Mama, I Want to Sing, and we're here at the 90th anniversary celebration of Ruby Dee. Please share with us your reflections on the great Ruby Dee on this event.
I'm just absolutely stunned and amazed and shocked at her greatness and her poise and her drama and her love of life and just her wisdom. Sometimes we forget just how much wisdom our seniors really have, and you want to tap into some of that energy. Her 90th birthday come on now. She got up them steps better than I could. And she sat down and she entertained us. And, you know, I couldn't help but feel something deep in my heart for the love of her grandson and what he put on that screen and the importance of the arts to our community, and to have access to his love on that screen was very, very powerful. And it makes you go someplace in yourself and wonder, have I done enough? Have I participated? Have I been active? And what can I do? And at the end, she said, get busy. Wow. And it really made you feel motivated and inspired. You know, there's more work to do. But we cannot ignore the arts. We cannot. I'm an activist for the arts. And, you know, to have a Ruby Dee and to have a grandson who had a dream and a vision, but it needs to be supported with finances and people in the seats like tonight. So it's a joy to be here, and I'm really delighted to have had this experience.
And thank you so much for joining us. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, greetings. I'm now joined by Miss Mickey Grant. She is a producer, she's director, and she wrote many plays and musicals. We want to share her reflections on the importance of this event. Welcome to Cultural Caravan TV.
Yep, thank you very much.
Yes. And could you show us tell us about the importance of this event in celebrating a Ruby Dee in the 90th year?
Well, I think it's always good to know on whose shoulders you stand. And Ruby Dee, of course, is a pioneer. She's opened many doors. We all, some of us think history began the day that we came into the world, but there were people making history before us. Now, the reason I'm so proud of Miss Dee, beside having worked with her and known her for many years, is the fact that she keeps going. So it lets us know there are no time limits.
Absolutely.
You know, she works as much as ever. I think we probably will have to sit her down at some point.
Absolutely.
Now here we are, celebrating her 90th, and I just saw her at the theater watching the other day, and just not too long ago she was over in New Zealand or somewhere doing a movie.
Absolutely.
And she just got her first Oscar nomination recently.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so there are no time limits.
Absolutely, and we thank you so much in celebration of her legacy. And Rosie Davis, thank you for joining us at Culture Caravan TV.
By all means, yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Your greetings. Now we're joined by the legendary Melvin Van Peebles on this historic occasion. Welcome to Cultural Caravan TV.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. It's wonderful.
You know, I admire your work and being a trailblazer in celebration of this wonderful sister, Ruby Dee. Can you share your reflections on Ruby Dee and Ossie Davis and their legacy?
It's terrific. They didn't bend to the society. They kept doing terrific, wonderful work. This evening, where the people celebrated Ossie and Ruby and what they'd done within this depth. It was terrific.
Absolutely.
Effing-rific.
Wow. And
I'm happy to have a chance to be here.
And we're happy to have you in celebration of your wonderful work and the work of people like you've laid the foundation. Again, thank you, sir. And any other closing thoughts?
I can't. Her husband might be listening.
Okay. Greetings. I'm now joined by S.Epatha Merkerson. Welcome to Cultural Caravan.
Thank you.
You just want to get your reflections on this celebration of this great artist, Ruby Dee.
Well, you know, if you're in the arts, if you're of the world, then you know who Ruby Dee is, and that we're celebrating her life of 90 years. It's just great to be a part of it. Yeah.
And I thank you so much for joining us. Okay.
Really my pleasure.
Okay, thank you now. Greetings. We're now joined by N.J. Frank, the producer of this wonderful documentary on the great Ruby Dee. Welcome to Cultural Caravan again.
Well, thank you for having me again. Thank you, Louise. Yes.
Tell us about just what do you think of it? It turned out a wonderful event. and about the work that you and brother are doing.
Man, all the hard work we see is paying off. We're really we're happy to have everyone out that came out. Just some of the biggest names that really can be here to honor Ms. Dee for her 90th birthday. And we were happy that they were able to see a little bit of the documentary that we have done, and I've been getting nothing but accolades on it. It's such a great movement. I really appreciate all of you for coming out.
Well, we know that the premiere is going to be next year, right?
Yes, yes.
And we look forward to joining you at the premiere as well.
Come on, Louise. You already know who's going to be in attendance. Cultural Caravan, you have been good to us, and we appreciate you for coming out, and we continue to thank you so very much,
Thank
Louise.
you so much.
All right, thank you so much.
Good luck. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this broadcast, and I continue to encourage you to tune in, to write, and to tell a friend. But until next time, Louise Dente saying thank you.
Mm-hmm.